I want you to remind them that if we come through this, when we come through this, inshallah, that we'll have taken $70 million on the chin and kept fighting back.
You cannot preserve freedom by allowing those who are anti-freedom to attain office and to systematically erode and destroy it. That is what socialists, Marxists seek to do. They let you know, and that is what Islam seeks to do. So, Michigan election. Look, that's my home state, I guess. I was born there. Lived there when I was really young until 3, and then lived there for another 5 or 6 years afterward. I'm not a fan. There's some unbelievable beauty in Michigan. Yeah. The backbone, Midwest being the backbone of the United States, is a myth. It's a lie. A lot of people are surprised that socialism is thriving. I'm not, because socialism and big unions, big labor, they're bedfellows. They always have been. And so this is the natural progression. You might not think, hey, someone on the UAW line being paid 6 figures to screw in a battery knob or whatever the hell it is, you might not think that that lends itself to welcoming your Islamic overlords with open arms. It does. It does. There's no other natural sequence of events that could take place. So let me give you the need to knows. There were some important Democratic primaries there. Democrat primaries, I should say. I don't like saying Democratic because it's not the Democratic Party. It's the Democrat enemy of the state. Biggest one was a Senate primary, Michigan, and the winner should definitely give you pause. When people say all sides are the same, have you looked at the winners of the Democratic primaries? Have you looked at the candidates? Have you looked at their platforms and understand what is being thrust upon you from the left? Socialism, Marxism, communism, and by the way, that is the root of all woke. People think it's passe, like, oh, woke is so 2020. You think the left has forgotten it? That's the centerpiece of their platform. So the first thing, you can check the references, by the way. We make them available every show. Former squad member Cori Bush lost big time to Wesley Bell. Wesley Bell won by 59, her to 36. And everyone thought that, what we're going to see in these primaries is, of course, the Israel thing is the central pivotal issue. Well, it's a wedge issue on the right, not so much on the left, because her campaign centered around, of course, Bell's support for Israel. And they rejected her. So that wasn't enough of a winning message. So I think that's an important takeaway. Then you also have...
Well, hold on. In the defense, like, she also had a congressional record to run on.
Yeah, that was terrible.
Why she lost.
Yeah, that doesn't help.
Is Cori Bush the moderate in that election?
I wouldn't call her that.
That's what's really hard.
I guess I'm asking, is the guy to the left of her? I never heard of it.
On some issues, it's crazy. It is actually a clown car right now.
Well, that's why none of this bothers me, but go ahead.
Well, no, but like you said, it's not a legitimate party anymore when you actually look at what it is.
It's an enemy of the state. It has been for I don't know how many years. But anyways, I'm not threatened by it.
There should be a litmus test. Hey, do you reject communism, Marxism, socialism in all its forms? If any candidate refuses to, boom, gone. And likely a fine or jail sentence, because communism is still illegal in this country. And you may call me old school. You may say I'm out of touch. Any chance that you get to jail, silence, deport, remove commies, I'm pro. Comment if you still agree with that. Then you have Representative Shri Thanedar, the funniest person out there, who actually conceded officially, lost to Donovan McKinney. It was a little bit closer. McKinney is supported by the DSA.
Oh, geez.
So that you may think, oh, Thanedar is just crazy, right? Is nuts. The guy who beat him is equally nuts. He just doesn't look as nuts. And unfortunately, since Thanedar lost, if I'm saying that right or wrong, I don't care, we won't be getting any more ads like these, which a lot of people haven't seen. This is an old one from him, but this is who this guy is.
I am Shri Thanedar, and I'm running for governor.
Shri is just like me.
I am an immigrant, and some people tell me I have an accent.
Shri is just like me.
But with my ideas to fix our roads,
Shri is just like me.
Improve our public schools,
Shri is just like me.
Create good jobs and ensure health care for all,
Shri is just like me.
We are actually more alike than you think.
It's like looking in a mirror.
Shri Thanedar, the most progressive Democrat running for governor.
Shri is my primary care physician.
That's right. No, Shri is just like me. It's like looking in a mirror.
I'm retarded?
Deport him, Ziggy. Too many people forgot Quantum Leap.
Is that Shri's real hair?
I doubt it.
Why would you ask that?
I mean,
What do you mean? I want to run my fingers through it.
Who knows? Don't make us jealous.
The guy is just
know.
out of his mind.
He's
Usually
a
don't get to run for office when you look that freaky. But hey, Democrats are okay with it so long as you promise free crap. Now, the important one that you would see in Michigan was the Democrat Senate primary, and Abdul El-Sayed won, or at least seems to be, right? Is this officially called?
They're declaring it, and then CNN's covering it right now as well. So
at the time of when we were starting the show, it wasn't 100% confirmed, but now it is.
Yeah.
So he won, beat Haley Stevens, and this is bad. So El-Sayed is now going to face a Republican, Mike Rogers. And in Michigan, I will tell you, even the Republicans have to be rhinos because they do have to promise a certain amount of free crap. I don't know if you can out-promise free crap from a socialist, but El-Sayed has a plan.
If and when we win this race, how are you going to beat Mike Rogers and their money? I want you to remind them that if we come through this, when we come through this, inshallah.
I know what that means.
I should say what?
I know what that means. God willing.
That will have taken $70 million on the chin and kept fighting back.
So let me give you some of his policies. Check out the references. When people say, oh, no, hold on a second. No one really meant those things whenever you drag the left's nose through their absurd policies. Yes, they do. His policies. If this man were successful, what would the left do? What would Democrats do if they had power completely unfettered? He wants to defund the police. He wants to decarceration, means let everyone out of prison, Arkham Asylum. He wants to abolish ICE. And of course, he wants complete and total amnesty, basically a new voting bloc. Michigan would forever be blue. They would not be in play whatsoever. He wants but here's the thing. People go, yeah, but also, at least we're not being distracted by left, right. It's about the elites. He wants Medicare for all. You see that on the Marxist right. He says Medicare should be automatic for everyone and accepted everywhere. By the way, that includes for all illegal aliens, because he would be ending ICE, he would be ending deportation, he would grant them all amnesty. So it's socialized health care for criminals. And then he proposes a billionaire wealth tax. So the problem is, all this other stuff, people go, I don't really care about that. People say, that's bread and circuses, deportations, ICE, closing the border, H-1Bs. What are they going to do for me? That's where the Democrats can win if that is your mindset, if that is your only messaging, if that pseudo-populism is your messaging, because they go, we're going to tax billionaires, and we're going to give people more free health care. That's exactly how we ended up with USAID. That's exactly how we ended up with the trillions of dollars in fraud and no work requirements and Coca-Cola on SNAP. Let me ask you this. This guy's for you. That's what he wants to say. Do you believe that he would oppose Coca-Cola on SNAP? Do you believe that he would require 80 work hours per month for example, Medicaid? For unemployment benefits? Of course not. Well, how is he for you? You're the one who has to pay for that. He's for the people whose votes he can buy. Despite all this, defunding the police, amnesty, abolishing ICE, letting people out of prisons, he insists, no, he's not a socialist. That's a bad word.
Are you concerned about being labeled a socialist?
I think that folks who come here, like with 2 weeks left in the election, really want to label me a socialist. I don't know why, except for maybe it fits into a nice telling of a broader national story. But I'm a scientist, right? And I like solutions that solve problems. That's the approach that I've always taken.
Well, thanks for answering Mr. Cogsworth from Beauty and the Beast. He's quite the, you overgrown terrorist.
You know who else was scientists and doctors? Some of the guys on 9/11.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
People forgets that.
Yeah.
They were actually radiologists, some of them, Hamas. They're professionals in this whole country.
That's why I go Poland. We don't need your doctors. Right. We don't need your engineers. But here he is, too, and here's what they do. He'll say, El-Sayed, he tries to tell you that I'm not a socialist, but of course, I want to destroy capitalism. Now, he tries to act as though he would just break up big monopolies. Historically, it's actually been the opposite, and then I have a pop quiz for you here.
I don't do ideology. I'd rather think of myself as a capitalist who actually read about capitalism, in the sense that the biggest risk to capitalism was always going to be corporate consolidation and monopoly rather than government regulation. In fact, you need some government regulation to make sure that capitalism runs well. I want to make sure that our capitalism is functional rather than allowing big corporations to buy politicians to rig the system against us.
And this is why the silly Bitcoin and weed libertarianism is dead. Because we all agree as conservatives, we don't suggest that there should be no government regulation whatsoever. It's about regulation that serves the interests of the people and is constitutionally confined. There's a role for regulation. We know that. There is no role for 70,000 new IRS employees. Let me ask you this. He says, like, yeah, that's my problem with capitalism. Okay, then why are you running as a Democrat? Which president introduced regulation to deal with monopolies, antitrust, things like that? Does anyone know?
I'm going to go with Nixon.
No, it was Teddy Roosevelt.
Whoa.
It was Teddy
26th
Roosevelt,
president.
who, by the way, couldn't be more toxically masculine, let people do their thing,
That's right.
laissez-faire, okay? We don't need government to be involved in all of our lives, but he saw the threat. So he had the 3 C's, corporate regulation, consumer protection, and conservation of natural resources, the national parks, which I know some people might be opposed to, but I also understand the reason for it. By the way, initiated 45 antitrust lawsuits in total. That was Teddy Roosevelt, the rigorous life, the self-determination guy. In other words, the people who want us to be free. Historically, Republicans, conservatives, those who you would consider to be far right today, we have said, well, in order for capitalism to work, we have to make sure that they are never in bed. These giant corporations, these corporate sort of oligarchs are not in bed with government where government can't pick winners and losers. The left has supported, remember Elizabeth Warren, too big to fail?
Yeah.
Barack Obama, billions of bailouts. Some Republicans have done it, but historically, we understand that it's easier to deal with decentralized 40,000 companies than 4. The left wants certain companies to be too big to fail, whether it's banks, health insurance, whether it's talking about airlines, talking about American auto manufacturing. They want monopolies, duopolies, tripopolies. Why? Because it's really easy for the government to step in and say, basically, we are now seizing the means of production and or distribution. They do it in a soft way through regulation that smaller businesses cannot sustain. They effectively end up controlling the big businesses. Historically, it was Republicans, the right, who said for capitalism to flourish, we need to make sure that there is no big brother government picking winners and losers.
Exactly.
The left has supported it. He should run as a Republican if that's what he actually thinks.
Absolutely, and that's always been true. But he's going back to these tired talking points of tax billionaires, right? It's the same thing that Bernie Sanders and AOC and all these people have run on, but they haven't said one thing about how much money would that raise? How much additional money do we need to do Medicare for all? How much additional money so that everybody has to take Medicare? I don't think most people understand that you have to hire somebody that is skilled in doing the coding to file for that. Unless if you're a cash doctor, you don't have to have that person. How many extra people do we have to hire to do this, to get through the paperwork of doing that? You never get specifics. Which companies do you want to break up? What have we done? Is it the military industrial complex that we've picked 3 winners? Is that what you're talking about? Because I would agree. That's a bad idea. But list another company for me. Name one you would break up right now.
Yeah.
And tell me what, and nobody will do that. He'll just throw these things out and say, see, I'm for you.
Because they want socialist revolution. All of the incremental, funny enough, progress, change that you would see from the right to improve certain industries that have lost their way, they oppose. Like, hey, insurance, yeah, you know what? It's a problem. Hey, how about we open up competition, insurance across state lines? No. Well, how about we maybe look at tort reform, or we look at some of these frivolous lawsuits, or we should have some? No, absolutely not. Hey, when we're talking about housing, how about we actually make sure that single-family housing units don't get purchased by these private investment firms that, no. BlackRock, State Street, Blackstone, Vanguard, too big to fail. Well, why don't you want to correct them so that market forces can keep people competitive along the way? Why? They would rather see it collapse. Their acceleration is so that they can say, see, government needs to step in and take over all of it. You know, like the entire energy industry, as you see with Venezuela or anywhere socialism thrives. They want revolution, so they would rather everything collapse. They want your life to become hell so that they can come in and present themselves as the only savior. So economically, he is a socialist, just to be clear. He doesn't even flat out deny it. He just says, I don't believe in ideology. Oh, come on. Is that true? El-Sayed, inshallah.
Yeah, and then he's going to tell us, I just love it. He's a clear Marxist, and he's going to tell us how to run capitalism right.
Right.
Like Trump doesn't know anything about it.
Right, exactly.
I mean, it's embarrassing. I am not threatened by any of this shit. Even if we lose. You know why? Because America's not going to put up with it.
Well, here's the next. Okay, so economically, and I hope you're right. All right, we got that one.
Pick up a gun.
There's only one surefire way to make mad gains, because a strict diet workout routine just isn't enough. If you want to truly level up, you're going to need my proprietary pump poppers.
Hey, Haas, what's proprietary about that?
You just got to trust me.
I don't, though, and they clearly shouldn't. That's why here at Foundation, we really only sell 2 supplements that you can consume. Foundation Daily, a daily multivitamin supplement. Every single ingredient listed at its clinically active dose, and you can go check out the lab certificates available upon request on the website. And Foundation Creatine. We sell Creavitalis, a patented German 99.9% pure form of creatine, the most studied kind with no fillers or additional bullcrap. Everything here is clinically proven to make your life better, unlike proprietary, what'd you call
Pump
it?
hoppers.
What's in it?
I have a patent.
I bet it's crap. Go to foundationdaily.com. Get everything you need. Nothing you don't. Proven science, zero secrets. That's your foundation. Visit foundationdaily.com today. Subscribe, save 40% off for life. Now let's deal with Michigan, Dearborn. Okay? What does this man think about Sharia law? Another concern. Oh, that's right. He said that Sharia law bans are tantamount to America's white supremacy and something racial murder. I don't know. He's retarded.
And the reason I wanted to go all the way back to the 1830s is because you can't understand a Sharia ban without understanding the Trail of Tears. You can't understand the efforts to uproot Muslim Americans without understanding the Tulsa Massacre. You cannot understand
the Tulsa Massacre,
the challenges we face today without understanding white supremacy. We have to set it in the context of our history.
So see, here's the thing. I think I actually can understand Sharia law without the Trail of Tears, which, by the way, is not how they presented it. We've done an entire segment on that. Maybe we should link that so people can go watch it. I think we can understand it without the Tulsa Massacre. I think we can understand it because we can look directly to the source. Check the references. We'll give them to you right now. Sharia law. Banning it is not something we should do in America. Okay, what does Sharia law encompass? Well, violence, Quran 47:4. When you encounter those who disbelieve, strike at their necks. Child marriage, Hadith 5:143. Here's the basis, by the way, of Sharia law. The Prophet married Aisha when she was 6 years old, consummated the marriage when she was 9, only humped her thighs until then. You look at women, you look at polygamy, you look at subjugation, you look at dhimmitud, where if you do not convert to Islam, you actually have a curfew, you have a poll tax, you are effectively a second-class citizen. This is the way that Sharia law is practiced everywhere, not to mention death for apostasy, death for heresy. You're given a chance to subject yourself to Sharia law and become Muslim. Otherwise, you're effectively a slave to the system. This is where libertarianism dies. People should be able to practice their own religions, not if their religions demand the takeover of government and effectively the destruction of any and all other religions, especially, the good one, Christianity. We serve good guy God.
And it's also not Sharia law and. There is never an and. It is just Sharia law that they want to get to. By the way, what's the only time that we've actually rolled back twice that I know of in history? There's probably some other smaller ones. Sharia law, the Crusades, World War II.
Yep.
Right? So that's when you're defeating these people.
This is the thing. You have people on the right like, you know what, man? So just you have libertarians. Just whatever, man. Who cares? Just let them. Oh, you're pro-freedom until. No. Hold on a second. You cannot preserve freedom by allowing those who are anti-freedom to attain office and to systematically erode and destroy it. That is what socialists, Marxists seek to do. They let you know, and that is what Islam seeks to do. That's why they are an unholy alliance. And there's no other alliance as dangerous or as blatant about it. This guy also, by the way, campaigned with and has been endorsed by, even though he's not a socialist, he says, known commie and praiser of Mao, Hasan Piker.
You know there's one other guy that you've campaigned with that has raised eyebrows, Hasan Piker. Was campaigning with him a good idea?
Look, I want to reach out to his viewers. He has a 3 million person platform, and there are things that Hasan and I disagree with. If you
we have more. Reach out to us
together. And there are things that he and I agree with.
I think Abdul centered the needs of the working class so perfectly in his policies. But in many respects,
in his speeches,
his run didn't start yesterday. His run didn't start 6 months ago. His run started in 2018 when he ran on a Medicare for All ticket in the gubernatorial race. And I guess the people were not ready for it now, ready for it back then, but they're certainly ready for it now, it seems.
On the question of whether or not we should be guaranteeing people health care or sending our money abroad to drop bombs on other people, we agree. I think we should be providing health care here. On the question of taking on the fascism of the Trump administration, we agree. We should probably take that on.
Right, the fascism as opposed to Sharia law.
They never define fascism. They don't even know what it is.
No, they don't. They don't. Which how they define it, like, okay, I'm a fascist. We did an entire segment on that. Like, if it's this guy or Pinochet, I'm okay with throwing commies off helicopters. I'm not saying that I'm actually a fascist. kind of a fascist. When we say working class, they just throw that in there. Hey, there's one part that people agree with. We shouldn't be funding bombs overseas and not taking care of our people. All right. So then they apply to see, I'm for the working class. Let me ask you right now, if you're watching, working class. By the way, that encompasses anyone, whether you are a fast food worker or a small business owner or someone who owns some franchises and you make a couple $1 million a year. You're working class. You're working. Let me ask you, he's for the working class. Do you want a better insurance plan or do you want to be on Medicare or Medicaid? Do you want the system improved or do you want everyone to be on Medicare? You're working class. Let me ask you this. Do you want things to be more affordable? The things that you choose to purchase? Or do you want to be on SNAP using EBT? And do you think that that should include Coca-Cola and Fanta? You're working class. Are you offended? Are you vitriolically opposed to the idea of people meeting basic work requirements like 80 hours a week or drug tests or identification verification for people to receive welfare and unemployment benefits? You're working class. Are these your issues? You're working class. Do you believe that someone who got a master's in women's studies shouldn't have to pay it back and you should foot the bill? You're working class. Hey, you're working class. Do you believe that we should ban Asians from Harvard, Brown, and Ivy League schools in the name of social equity so that we put more black people in there who score lower on the SATs and have lower GPA? You're working class. Is that what you think? You're working class. Do you think that giant corporations should be forced to hire more trans, Afro, lesbians, lest they not see favorable loans or be cut out of the business from? You're working class. You're working class. Should you be bailing out big banks? Do you think that BlackRock, State Street, Vanguard should be too big to fail and able to buy up your entire neighborhood so that they can charge you more rent into an entire generation of people who will own nothing and like it? You're working class. Hey, you're working class. Do you think that you shouldn't be allowed to drive an SUV and every single car you have should have that auto start stop and a bunch of safety features and eco-friendly features that limit what you can do as far as transporting your family? You're working class. Do you think those choices should be limited? You're working class. Should you pay for someone's Fanta on Social Security or should you pay for someone's Coca-Cola while you're not allowed to purchase a Big Gulp? You're working class. You support fat pride? You're working class. You pay for Plan B for every single woman on earth who can't keep their legs closed? You're working class. He's for the working class. Tell me what part of the Democrat... You're working class. Men should be in women's sports. You're working class. Let all violent prisoners out. You know what? Let's soften it. You're working class. No cash bail where they can commit violent crimes and return to the streets. You're working class. What part of these people and their platform is for you, working class? It sounds good, and they try and go, look, this war. Therefore, insert all of the other socialism here. I will say this man does have one Achilles only heel.
Like, you think about, if you're on Instagram, my team has access to my Instagram account. And like the things that I actually look at on Instagram, right? Of course, we get served that on your For You page. But then like every third video that scrolls on its own is going to be some OnlyFans model. And it's because it clocked me as being a 40-some-year-old man.
No, that's not why. It didn't just clock you as a 40-something-year-old man. Someone explained to him how the algorithms work. This is from Instagram. It says, we use signals to predict which reels people might like. Signals include user activity like watch time, retention, shares, likes, and comments. It's showing you what you like.
He could have just been watching it way too long.
Mine shows me a bunch of judo and jujitsu videos along with a few political those every now and then, and cigar stuff. His is hardcore pornography.
I get nothing but beheadings.
Well, there you go.
He used to until he discovered only Sharia fans.
That's like mine at nighttime. It gives me like ASMR history for sleep. Yeah. For him, it gives him like, here's a snuff video.
Yes. It's my white noise when I go to sleep.
This man is an Islamist and a socialist, but I repeat myself, and you're going to see a lot more of this. You're going to see this from the DSA. You're going to see this from these Sharia supporters. You're going to see this from these Somali immigrants, just to be clear, because they are one and the same as Karl Marx, as Vladimir Lenin. Vladimir Lenin is a good way to sort of look at the purest implementation of Marxism. Here's a quote From capitalism, mankind can pass directly only to socialism. Our party looks farther ahead. Socialism must inevitably evolve gradually into communism. Not should, maybe, it could. There's no other way for it to go. It's the misdirect. It's setting socialism as a setup with the jab to communism. Where do you go? Where do you go when the government effectively has a monopoly on everything? Well, they haven't seized the means of production, just all of it yet, because people voted the folks in who want to do that, but now they're in. You don't get to vote your way out. For proof, look at any country that started as socialism and how they veered. Don't say Norway or Scandinavian countries. Shut up. We've put that to bed a long time ago. Vagina is exactly what I would say if I wasn't here on YouTube. So go and subscribe on Rumble. Same channel where free speech is actually alive and well. Or you can stay here and the